Johnny Carson, the legendary host of The Tonight Show for 3 decades, was celebrated for his wit, charm, and affable on-screen persona that endeared him to millions of viewers. However, beyond the laughter and joviality of late-night television, Carson occasionally found himself embroiled in notable feuds with fellow entertainers and colleagues. These feuds, sometimes fueled by ego, competition, or personal differences, added a layer of complexity to the life of a man considered a national treasure and an iconic figure in American entertainment. In this video, we delve into some of the memorable feuds that punctuated Johnny's illustrious career, focusing on one multi-layered feud before getting into details of some of his other back and forths. Join Factsverse as we present She Was Never Allowed Back to the Tonight Show after this. Lola Falana. Lola Falana's appearances on The Tonight Show with Johnny Carson were significant moments in her career that helped her gain widespread recognition and popularity. Lola, born September 11, 1942 in Camden, New Jersey, started her career as a dancer and singer, and eventually became a renowned actress and entertainer. Lola first appeared on The Tonight Show in the 1960s when Johnny Carson was hosting. These appearances played a crucial role in introducing her to a broader audience. Her vibrant personality, stunning looks, and remarkable talent quickly captivated the audience and made her a favorite guest on the show. Johnny was known for his keen ability to spot talent, and he often featured up-and-coming entertainers on his show. Lola was no exception, and her appearances on The Tonight Show provided her with a platform to showcase her singing and dancing skills, as well as her engaging and charismatic personality. As a singer and dancer, Falana had a captivating stage presence. Her dynamic performances on The Tonight Show helped her build a fan base and gain credibility in the entertainment industry. Carson's show was a launchpad for many artists, and Lola Falana was fortunate to have been one of those talents who benefited from the exposure. In addition to her performances, her interviews with Johnny allowed people to get to know her on a more personal level. Her warm and charming demeanor made her a beloved guest on the show. But before you assume this was all a happy ending, we need to talk about Lola's connection with Wayne Newton. Lola and Wayne. Lola Falana and Wayne Newton, both prominent entertainers in the 60s and 70s, had an association that extended beyond their shared profession. Their connection was largely based on their common involvement in the Las Vegas entertainment scene, where they both had significant success. Both Lola and Wayne established themselves as headlining act in Las Vegas during the heyday of the city's entertainment scene. They performed at various renowned venues like the Stardust Resort and Casino, where they were among the top draws on the Strip. Their residencies in Las Vegas often overlapped, leading to frequent encounters and interactions. They knew each other and held each other in high regard as fellow performers, recognizing each other's talents and contributions to the entertainment industry. And while there isn't extensive documentation of joint performances or collaborations between the two of them, it was common for entertainers in the Las Vegas circuit to appear together or support each other in various ways. They could have appeared together in special events, shared stages during benefit concerts, or even just attended each other's shows. Both Falana and Newton were iconic figures in the entertainment world in Las Vegas during their careers. Lola was celebrated for her captivating stage presence and dynamic performances, while Wayne, often referred to as Mr. Las Vegas, was known for his legendary singing and stage charisma. Their association as fellow Las Vegas icons likely strengthened their friendship. They also rose to fame at the same time. So how did this friendship affect Lola's relationship with The Tonight Show, though? Wayne and the Alladin. It all started with Wayne's attempt to buy the Alladin Hotel in Las Vegas. At the time, Johnny Carson was also interested in buying it. The two, along with other investors, were putting in competing bids. The Alladin Hotel and Casino was a prominent resort on the Las Vegas Strip. It had a rich history dating back to its opening in 1966 and was known for its Arabian-themed architecture and decor. Wayne Newton had established himself as a beloved entertainer in the city and had a strong presence in the entertainment scene there, so his interest in purchasing the Alladin was fueled by his passion for the city and the desire to expand his business ventures. In the late 90s, Wayne beat out Johnny Carson and all other bidders and entered into negotiations to purchase the Alladin Hotel and Casino. The deal was reported to be worth approximately $65 million. Newton's vision was to transform the Alladin into a world-class resort that would further solidify his status as a Las Vegas entertainment mogul. Now, the acquisition of a major hotel casino property in Las Vegas is a complex process involving various regulatory approvals, financing arrangements, and negotiations. Wayne faced challenges including securing the necessary financing and overcoming the legal and regulatory hurdles. News of Wayne Newton's attempt to buy the Alladin generated a lot of attention locally and nationally. The potential acquisition was seen as a major development in the city's entertainment and hospitality landscape. But despite his best efforts, Wayne's attempt to purchase the hotel did not come to fruition. The deal faced numerous obstacles and negotiations ultimately broke down. Wayne and Johnny's feud. So what should have been a strictly business situation ended up devolving into an outright feud. Johnny Carson reportedly took it personally that Wayne had outbid him on the Alladin. Carson started making jokes and comments about Newton on The Tonight Show. These jokes often revolved around Newton's appearance and persona in Las Vegas, poking fun at his image as Mr. Las Vegas and suggesting he might be involved in organized crime and the mafia. Johnny's jokes, delivered to a national television audience, resulted in Wayne Newton feeling publicly ridiculed and humiliated. Newton took offense to the repeated jabs and believed that the jokes were harming his reputation and career. According to Wayne, he showed up in Carson's office one day and flat out told him to stop, threatening physical violence. At one point, Wayne decided to take legal action against Johnny and NBC for defamation. He filed a $5 million lawsuit alleging that Carson's jokes had caused him significant emotional distress and financial harm by damaging his image as a performer. The feud between Wayne and Johnny eventually led to a legal settlement. The terms of the settlement weren't publicly disclosed, but it's widely believed Newton received a hefty sum to resolve the defamation lawsuit. While the legal matter was settled, the feud between Wayne and Johnny seemed to have lasting effects on their personal relationship. They reportedly never fully reconciled, and the public perception was that there was an ongoing animosity between them. Wayne continued his career in Las Vegas and the entertainment industry, maintaining his status as a prominent performer in the city. Johnny continued to host The Tonight Show until his retirement in 1992. This feud is often cited as an example of the power of media and public perception in the entertainment industry. It also serves as a reminder of how humor, even when meant in jest, can have real-life consequences and impact the lives and careers of public figures. Despite the feud, both Newton and Carson remained influential figures in the industry. And the effect that it had on Lola Falana? Well, she became essentially banned from The Tonight Show, not because of anything she did per se, but because Johnny hated the fact that she was close friends with Wayne Newton. Johnny's feud with Bob Hope. Wayne and Lola weren't the only ones who got under Johnny's skin. Johnny and Bob Hope had a complex relationship that evolved over the years, marked by professional collaborations, mutual respect, and at times tension. While they both were celebrated figures in the world of entertainment, reports suggest that Johnny did have a lot of moments of discomfort when hosting Bob Hope on The Tonight Show, and resented him to certain extents. They were both icons in the entertainment industry. Bob, known for his long and illustrious career as a comedian and actor, often made appearances on The Tonight Show. Their professional collaborations on the show were highly anticipated and drew huge audiences. Despite any underlying tensions, both Johnny and Bob held each other in high regard and recognized each other's contributions to the entertainment world. They had a mutual respect for each other's talents and longevity in show business. While Bob made numerous guest appearances on The Tonight Show, apparently Johnny didn't always like having him as a guest. Johnny was known for his sharp wit and ability to engage in spontaneous and humorous conversations with his guests. Bob Hope, on the other hand, had a more rehearsed and structured style of comedy, which sometimes clashed with Carson's preferred format. This stylistic difference contributed to the moments of discomfort for Carson when hosting Hope. The two were both highly competitive people as well. Carson, in particular, was fiercely protective of his show and his role as its host. It's possible that his competitive spirit and desire to maintain control over the show led to some of this tension when hosting someone as established and influential as Bob Hope. And Johnny may have harbored some resentment towards Bob, particularly regarding the frequency of Hope's guest appearances on The Tonight Show and all the attention he received because of it. Carson may have felt overshadowed or pressured to accommodate Hope's routines, which contributed to his discomfort. Johnny and Joan Rivers. The relationship between Johnny Carson and Joan Rivers was a roller coaster ride that saw periods of closeness, collaboration, and success, but it eventually soured, leading to a significant falling out. Joan first appeared on The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, in 1965. She quickly became a favorite guest and soon established herself as one of the most frequent and beloved guest hosts for the show whenever Johnny was away. Her sharp wit, irreverent humor, and quick banter resonated with audiences. Over the years, Joan and Johnny developed a close friendship. Carson was instrumental in helping Rivers' career take off, and she considered him a mentor and father figure in the industry. Rivers often expressed her deep appreciation for Carson's support. Her appearances on The Tonight Show significantly boosted her career. She credited Carson with giving her a major break in showbiz, and she eventually became a prominent stand-up comedian and TV personality. The rift between Johnny and Joan Rivers began when Rivers decided to launch her own late-night talk show, The Late Show starring Joan Rivers, in 1986. Carson was reportedly upset and felt betrayed by Rivers for not informing him personally about her decision. He considered it a breach of loyalty, as he believed Rivers should have consulted him or sought his blessing due to their close friendship. In the aftermath of her show's launch, Johnny reportedly banned Joan from ever appearing on The Tonight Show again. The ban extended not only to Rivers, but also anyone associated with her show. This move had significant professional consequences for Rivers, as The Tonight Show was a crucial platform for comedians and entertainers. Following the falling out, Joan and Johnny did not reconcile for many years. They didn't communicate or speak publicly about their strained relationship, which left many in the entertainment industry and the public curious about the nature of their feud. The rift between the two remained unresolved until Carson's passing in 2005. They never had a chance to mend their friendship before his death. Joan, on several occasions, expressed her regret about the way the relationship ended and the impact it had on her career. Frank Sinatra's Tonight Show ban. The temporary ban of Frank Sinatra from The Tonight Show was a notable incident in the history of the show and highlighted the sometimes prickly relationship between the legendary singer and Johnny Carson. The incident occurred in 1976 during one of Sinatra's appearances on The Tonight Show. Carson, known for his monologue jokes, made a lighthearted jest about Sinatra's alleged involvement with the mafia. The joke went something like this: "You know, Frank's daughter Tina was on the show here last week. She's a lovely girl, but the old man scared me. He hasn't seen that much money in years." While such jokes were not uncommon on late-night television, Sinatra reportedly did not take this one well. He was known to be sensitive about his connections to organized crime figures and had been the subject of various rumors and investigations throughout his career. In response to the joke, Sinatra, who was a powerful figure in the industry, allegedly used his influence to have Johnny Carson banned from the Jilly's nightclub in New York City. Jilly's was a popular hangout for celebrities, and its owner, Jilly Rizzo, was a close friend of Sinatra. The ban was seen as a retaliatory move by Sinatra, and it was widely reported about in the media. Johnny Carson, in turn, responded by temporarily banning Frank Sinatra from The Tonight Show. The ban was meant to send a message that Carson would not tolerate attempts to interfere with his creative freedom or to intimidate him through industry connections. But the ban was relatively short-lived. Johnny and Frank eventually reconciled their differences, and Sinatra returned to The Tonight Show as a guest. Their professional relationship continued, and they shared a mutual respect for each other's talents and contributions to the entertainment world. Eddie Murphy's ban. The ban of Eddie Murphy from The Tonight Show was another significant incident involving a prominent entertainer and Johnny Carson. Eddie, known for his stand-up comedy and rising career in the 80s, had a controversial appearance on the show that resulted in a temporary ban. The incident took place in 1983 when Eddie was a guest. During his appearance, Murphy, who was known for his edgy and sometimes profane humor, used strong language and made a joke that included a profanity. The joke was deemed inappropriate for network television and against the standards of the show. Johnny, who had strict guidelines regarding the content of his show, was not pleased with Murphy's performance. The use of profanity and the edginess of the humor went against the tone and style of The Tonight Show at the time, which was known for its more traditional and family-friendly approach to comedy. So as a result of the appearance, Eddie was temporarily banned from The Tonight Show. Johnny and the show's producers were reportedly upset with Murphy's behavior and decided to impose the ban as a response to his controversial appearance. But the ban wasn't permanent. Over time, Eddie Murphy mended his relationship with Johnny Carson and was eventually allowed to return as a guest on the show. Murphy's career continued to soar, and he became one of the most successful and influential comedians and actors in the industry. Robert Blake's ban. The temporary ban of Robert Blake from The Tonight Show was another notable incident and was related to Blake's controversial appearance on the show. Blake, a well-known actor, experienced a ban after what Johnny Carson and the show's producers deemed a bizarre and erratic appearance on the show. The incident took place in 1975 when Robert Blake was a guest on The Tonight Show. During his appearance, Blake's behavior raised concerns and eyebrows among the show's staff and the audience. His actions during the interview were described as eccentric and at times nonsensical. Some of the noteworthy moments during the appearance included Blake climbing over Johnny Carson's desk, crawling around the set, and appearing disheveled and agitated. His responses to Carson's questions were often cryptic and rambling, which added to the unusual nature of the interview. Johnny and the show's producers were reportedly taken aback by Blake's behavior, which they found disruptive and unpredictable. The appearance was a departure from the typical format of the show and created an uncomfortable atmosphere for the host and the audience. In the aftermath of Robert Blake's appearance, Johnny and the show's producers decided to temporarily ban him from the program. It was intended to ensure that the show maintained its professionalism and order, and that future guests adhered to the expected standards of behavior during interview. The ban, of course, was temporary, and he eventually made a return to the program. Johnny's temper. Johnny Carson was one of the most iconic figures in the history of American television. He was known for his charming and affable on-camera persona as the host of The Tonight Show. But off-camera, he had a more complex personality that was marked by certain distinct traits, including a well-documented temper and occasional feuds with fellow celebrities. He had a remarkable ability to connect with his audience, engage in lighthearted banter with guests, and make viewers feel comfortable. His quick wit and his ability to adapt to various guests and situations contributed to his long-lasting success as a talk show host. In short, Carson's on-camera personality was charming, calm, and composed. In contrast to his on-camera image, Johnny was known to have a more private and reserved off-camera persona. He was notoriously guarded about his personal life and rarely shared details about it with the public. This reserved nature extended to his relationship with colleagues and friends, and he was known for being somewhat introverted when not in the spotlight. Johnny had a reputation for having a temper, and there were instances where he could be demanding and difficult to work with. He was known to be particularly sensitive about certain topics, such as his divorces, and would become irritable if these subjects were broached. Some colleagues and associates who worked closely with him behind the scenes described him as having a short fuse at times. This, of course, contributed to all the bans and feuds we've discussed. Despite his occasional temper and his disputes, Johnny was highly professional when it came to his work. He was known for his punctuality, his dedication to his craft, and his unwavering commitment to the success of the show. His work ethic and standards were widely respected in the industry. In the world of entertainment, where public personas are carefully crafted and maintained, Johnny's complex personality highlighted the contrast between his on-camera charm and his private life. While he could be demanding and occasionally difficult, there's no doubt that his talent and professionalism played a significant role in his legendary status as a television host. His legacy on The Tonight Show remains unparalleled, and his impact on the medium is still felt today, regardless of his temper or the feuds he would occasionally have in the industry. Now it's time to hear from you. Which of these Tonight Show bans and feuds was most surprising to hear about? Let us know in the comments section below.